me ask you something. Do you ever look at yourself in the mirror and think, why can't I just be like her? Or what if I was a better mom? Or maybe you put on that perfect smile and pretend like everything's fine, everything's fine. Even on the inside though, you're not sure who you really are anymore, or you've had just an absolutely crummy day. I get it. After decades in the television industry, my job was to be happy on TV all the time, even when I was going through a divorce. It was exhausting. I have been where you are. We all have moments where we feel like we're playing a part in someone else's script. But here's the truth. Your power is in being you, unabashedly authentic, the real you. And today we're talking about authenticity, why it matters, how to embrace it, and why pretending to be someone else is a total and complete waste of your precious time. I'm Albany Irvin, and I've spent my entire adult life helping women like you discover their true power. Whether you're a mom, a wife, a sister, a friend, a professional, or just trying to figure out this thing called life, I want you to know that you are more than enough, just as you are. Authenticity doesn't have to be some far-off goal. It's about showing up fully as yourself every single day for you. And if you're ready for that, stick around, because we are about to dive into authenticity. Now, we talk about it all the time, and I sometimes feel like it's the buzzword of the moment, right? It's something we say we want, but sometimes it's harder to practice than it sounds. Well, why is that? I believe the truth is that society has created this impossible standard for women, especially women over 40. And I don't know about you, but I am completely over societal norms. My little girl inside goes, "You can't tell me what to do. I don't have to do that." We're constantly being told who we should be, what we should look like, what success looks like, and don't even get me started on how to act. There's always someone or something willing to tell us we're not enough unless we measure up to some preconceived version of perfect. I get it. Back to the 3 decades in the television industry, I had people in my own business and the public reviewing me every single day, and that brutal honesty is sometimes destructive. Here's the real secret though. You don't have to fit into anyone else's mold. You do not need permission to be yourself. And for crying out loud, we have graduated from middle school and high school. So gone are the days where we have to be sheep and fit into everyone else's molds and ideas and carry the right tumbler and the right backpack and the right clothes. In fact, your greatest power lies in your individuality. And once you get that, everything changes. Let's get real for a minute. What happens when we try to be someone else? Well, first off, it's exhausting. Think about it. How much energy do you spend every single day trying to keep up with what everyone else expects for you? Think about that. That's energy you could be using to build your dream, your life, your authentic self on your terms. I've tried to be other people before. Trust me, it doesn't work. And spoiler alert, it is a total and complete energy drain. You get caught up trying to live someone else's life instead of your own, being that perfect who knows what, going after their dream instead of your own. And here's the kicker. People can tell. I don't know about you, but have you ever met somebody and thought, something's just a little bit off. I'm not sure. It's kind of your soul saying, I'm not believing this. That's what happens when you're not being authentic. It's like you're wearing a mask. Do you remember that? What was that movie with Nicolas Cage where he would wear a mask and he was one person, he'd wear a mask and he was another person? I was exhausted and had eaten all the popcorn before the first half of the movie was over, just trying to keep up. And you're wearing a mask that you can never quite take off when you're trying to be someone else. People can see it. It's exhausting for you, and quite frankly, it's draining for them too. So why does authenticity matter so much? Well, I think it's simple. When you're yourself, you're free, no longer constrained by the world's impressions or ideas about you. You're not straitjacketed. Did you ever feel like you were caught up in a cocoon? When you're authentic, You're free to make your own decisions based upon what you really want, not what society tells you or your parents or your spouse. You're free to speak your mind, show your emotions, and most importantly, you stop hiding your gifts and talents. Now, this is a big one because you're finally free to be the person God intended you to be. We've all been gifted with talents and skills and abilities and life experiences. Those can't be replicated by anyone else. And imagine this, if you have not been free to be you, perhaps someone else has not been blessed by your skills and abilities and experiences. Wouldn't that be a shame if you were a joy robber and kept someone else from finding their true self or their joy? When you step into your authenticity, the whole world shifts. You start attracting the right people, the right opportunities, and you start to see yourself in a whole new light. You go from feeling like an imposter to standing tall in your own shoes. And that's the power of authenticity. I have to tell you, I remember a time, God bless my mama, when I was so caught up in trying to be perfect, that perfect version of myself, that I lost who I really was, who I thought I needed to be successful, to be a certain mold. My mother, little Scarlett O'Hara incarnate, I call her, she sent me to charm school 3 times. I failed out the first 2. I was too busy climbing trees. And her mold of a beautiful Southern belle, it didn't fit me at all. You know, my mom's still hoping for that perfect coiffed Southern belle, but my sister and I, we both bucked the system. So she's gonna have to look to someone else for that. For a while, I tried to be this super polished, always put together version of myself, hoping to gain her approval. But one day I realized that uncomfortable, itchy, constraining clothes, those don't work for me. I know, right? Big shocker. Here I was making it in the world of TV and as a public speaker, strutting around in stilettos on stage. But for me and my back, everyone in my family already knew it. I couldn't even make it down the wooden steps in the morning without thunk, 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 falling because I was tripping and falling and slipping and I hadn't had my coffee yet. And to top it all off, I secretly only wanted to be barefoot outside in the water. I mean, seriously, mermaids don't wear shoes. And after all, I'm going to be a mermaid when I grow up. Lest I digress, I have to say, until I started showing up more like myself, flats, messy hair, a little more casual, that's when things started to click. I stopped worrying about impressing everyone else and focused on bringing myself to the table. Guess what? That's when everything changed. People noticed, and I actually felt good about myself for the first time in a long time. So how do you tap into your authentic self? Well, it starts with one simple thing. Stop pretending. No more playing by someone else's rules. No more comparing yourself to that perfect version of you that others have created or that you've seen on Instagram or TV. You are enough, period. Ask yourself, who am I really? And then be that person. Now, it sounds simple enough, right? But putting it into action does take time and sweat and purpose. Your authenticity is what is your greatest asset. It makes you stand out. It's what makes people want to be around you and what gives you the confidence to walk into any room and own it. Trust me, when you start being real with yourself, everything else starts to fall into place. So let's talk about some real steps you can take to embrace your authentic self. Number 1, stop that comparison game. I know it's hard, but comparison is the thief of joy. Stop looking at what everyone else is doing and focus on your own path. You versus you. You are your only competition. Side note, commercial break, you may need to unplug to stop comparison. Maybe you take a detox from that social media channel. Number 2, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you're always trying to stay comfortable, you'll never ever grow. Challenge yourself to do the things that scare you. Speak your truth, even when it's hard. Number 3, listen to your gut. That gut feeling, it's not just some random thought. It's your intuition trying to guide you. Pay attention to what feels right for you, not what feels right for everyone else or to preconceived notions. And number 4, this may be my favorite. Celebrate your quirks. I mean, I'm a bit of a dork. I don't follow the rules, never really have done that. And I used to think my quirky personality was something I should hide. In fact, go back to the charm school thing. I figured I wasn't allowed to be me. But now I embrace it. It's what makes me me. Your quirks are what make you unique. Don't hide them, celebrate them. In fact, Dr. Seuss, his famous quote, "No one is more youer than you." So celebrate that. Hey, if you're loving this so far, make sure you hit the subscribe button and share this with someone who you think could use a little authenticity boost in their life. We're doing a reinvention revolution here, and it's a lot more fun with friends. You know, being authentic isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up exactly as you are. Flaws and all, dorkiness and all. It's all about saying, this is me and I'm enough, and being comfortable with that. It's about owning your gifts, your flaws, your passions, your voice, your experiences, and letting the world not only see it, but share in it. Don't hold back. The world needs you to be your authentic self. So let's get out there and be unabashedly authentic. Hey, let me know what you're going to work on for you today to embrace your authentic self. And P.S. and I love you. Do you know only 25% of my viewers are subscribers? What the actual heck? Let's take our relationship to the next level and make this official. I'll catch you in the next episode.